Hey team, happy Wednesday in the 13th week of Ordinary Time. The readings today have got me very excited because they are speaking about something I think as emotional intelligence becomes more of an awareness in our community, like this is spot on hand with this, right? And so the idea that's really getting born today is what do we do with our circumstances? So everybody in the world, we are born into circumstances that are beyond our choice and our power, right? Whether we're a woman or a person of color, or we're born into a space of privilege, if you're like top of the chain, white man, tall, deep voice, like all of these things, right? We didn't choose it. You don't pick what color eyes you have. But we do get to choose how we respond to it in our minds and in our hearts, and subsequently externally in the way we talk to and act with people. So let's look at these readings. There's really something here about the power of God. So Hagar, through no fault of her own, is sent away, right? She did her duty as a slave and bore Abraham a son. And then because of that, she was sent away because Sarah's jealous, but it's not her fault. Like, she's just doing what she's told, essentially, right? And she's sent into these circumstances, and she could just be like, well, crap, I didn't have the chosen son. My son's not Isaac. I just did what I was told, and here I am, I'm about to die. My son is about to die. I'm about to die. And in these dire circumstances, she is met by God, but she could only have been met by God if she had opened her heart in vulnerability. And how relatable is it that the time she's able to open her heart is this like last moment of faced with death, essentially. But that doesn't matter if it takes us that long, right? It's that we do it, because then when she has fallen into this deep sense of I'm powerless, I'm out of control, God is able to work. He meets her and reveals to her a well. He opens her eyes to it, which means that it was there the whole time, but she couldn't see it, she couldn't receive it until she was vulnerable enough to have God come into her life, which is just incredible. But because she's then able to live, and her son lives and prospers, and it's not the way it should be. It's not the way that fairy tales are written with a logical step-by-step formula. But because God is bigger than that and he is limitless, it happens. And in the flippy flip side, we see in the gospel reading today, God drives out the demons, and it's not the way it should be. It's kind of messy. He throws these demons into the pigs, which is, a source of income for the town. And they go overboard, and that's just not the way it should be. And in fact, he's kind of, by healing them, thrown their worlds upside down for this town. And they cannot meet Christ there. They cannot recognize like something is bigger than what we know is the way it should be. God is doing something bigger. And because it's so terrifying and they cannot meet God there, they send him away. And that's really a loss, because God has come to show them something much bigger, to break the walls of what it should be, how it ought to be. Like, this is what you think should happen. And they can't go there with God. And that doesn't remove the love of God from them, but it does limit them, right? They can't transcend what these walls are that they have built themselves. Like, they're in their own sort of glass prison, unlike Hagar. And we as people do that all the time, right? Circumstantial. Like, I can wake up and say, well, I'm not getting paid as much as my counterpart because I'm a woman, or that I'm not losing weight the same way that some model might because of my genetics, these things that are out of my power. And I could just stay stuck in that mindset instead of inviting God to come and break down these walls and say, yeah, it's not as it should be, but I am here, and if you trust me, I will help you transcend. But first, give up control and give up this mental state of how it should be, because it's not that. So accept that, receive that, and then let's move together so that we can just go way beyond it, because God's love is way beyond these walls that we have built. So, what a powerful message. I mean, like, really, we could spend a lifetime here on these sets of things. And let's invite Hagar. Okay, we're not Sarah. We didn't have Isaac. We're Hagar. We're trapped in a desert, but God is here with us, and He wants to give us the living water to really receive His love for us, which is triumphant and infinite and specific to who we are. And praise God for that. So I invite you, as you are, to do the courageous thing and look at these boundaries that we have drawn around our life. And let's ask God to come here, surrender control to them, and let Him break the walls and move in power and in love. So with that happy message, have a great Wednesday, and we'll see you tomorrow.